Amazing. So if you believe in miracles, you are just entered into a miracle platform. I can tell you that. We are, I believe, going to change a lot of people's lives. 2023 will be a year of significant, tremendous, opulent miracles. Deals are coming faster than what we'll be able to keep up with. And you just got to kind of, if this is your first time on here and whoever invited you on here, you just got to kind of learn how to flow. Like I'm not that analytical, but I have some analysis in me, but I have other people I depend on for that. But I'm definitely one that knows how to recognize a flow. And we're definitely in a serious economic flow, where lots of assets and deeds and transfers and transactions and commercial property and real estate and residential property and all kinds of things that people will use them for are happening right now. The group of individuals that you're going to hear from tonight are all very much in their genius. And so just to kind of tell you a little bit of how we got here. My name is Jewel Tankard. For those of you that have no idea who I am, I've been in the crypto space for the last 7 years, very heavy. I'm an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, to parents that are still entrepreneurs today. So great, mommy and daddy do very well. They actually own a construction company. And so I grew up seeing a very strong work ethic, grew up downtown Detroit where we saw a lot of people move and shake. Most people from Detroit are kind of shakers and movers. That's what we're kind of known for. And so anyway, I was doing very, very well in cryptocurrency and actually took an opportunity got into real estate pretty heavy in 2016, where I was buying up properties, in the city of Detroit. I had a wealth mentor that, was spot on. He called and say, Jewel, you need to look at this. Jewel, you need to look at this. Jewel, you need to look at this. And every time he called, I was like, I'm wiring the money. And so I was blessed to be able to buy a lot of properties, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. And most of those I was fixing up, rehabbing, and then putting tenants in there. And I was figuring it out just like any other beginner investor, learning all the nuances of it. And it worked out to be really, really well. And then beginning of last year, I started selling a good number of them because the market was in my favor. It was a bidding war. People were calling saying, hey, you bought, I know I bought it for 10,000, but they want to give me 110,000. And that just kept happening. And I just, I look for flow, not force. And so the flow was just happening, and I was enjoying that, right? And took that and put a lot of it back into crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so, and then got really heavy in, like I said, crypto, trading it, staking it, and being involved in different crypto hedge funds that did really, really, really well for me. And so anyway, a good friend of mine, Kenny Lloyd, called me at the end of last year. Actually, a mutual friend of ours called and said, hey, I think you should talk to Kenny. And I said, I talked to Kenny already, And so anyway, it's like, no, I think you should talk to him. And so anyway, I knew that Kenny had a tremendous amount of success. We had made a couple million together, 2007, 2010. And his wife, Shantae, and Ben and I, we just hit it off. They're just good, just solid people. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to Kenny because I know Kenny is doing very, very well. And he's a friend. So what's going on? So anyway, he said, hey, Jewel, I've kind of seen what you're doing. And I think we have an opportunity to really kind of make impact. And so I was like, okay, what were you thinking? He said, well, why don't we launch a financial educational platform where we basically help people, get their credit together, get them funded, help them get into commercial property, residential property, duplexes, apartment buildings, single family. And let's just teach them all the nuances of that, and let's get them into, any other asset class that we deem important. And I, being heavily involved in crypto, for 7 years. And then also being in real estate, which is considered a hard asset, crypto is considered a digital asset. I definitely saw the need to have very strong, hard asset portfolio. And so my whole goal was to get people in a position where they can live off of their ROI, live off of their return on their investment. And so I was very blessed in that I was able to invest and create a 6-figure ROI for myself every single month on the digital side. And so I said, you know what, I need to do that same thing on the hard asset side. And so you guys know, you saw Bitcoin go to 67,000, you saw it come back down to 15,000, now it's back up to 27. I definitely think the digital assets, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, are still very viable. I think it's digital gold. I think it's the future. I think we still need to be saving it, and we need to be involved in it very heavily, because I think it's going to get to 7 figures at some point, Bitcoin in particularly. And then I think Ethereum will be probably a good second. So, but again, everything is not about, just having everything in one particular asset class. So I also got very heavily involved in gold and silver as well, where I save gold and silver every single month. It's on automation. And so anyway, we just kind of started talking about some of these things. I actually went out to an oil. I started investing in oil wells. So we actually went out to a well, and 2 of the educators are with me. And they also run my brand, Camille and Marquita. And we got up on top of the well, and took a picture of it. Most wells, you can make money from anywhere from 5 to 20 years, as long as the well produce and you don't hit a dry well. But because of geologists now and the technology, they used to, with wells, they traditionally would just drill down vertically, but now they can drill vertically and horizontally, which is pretty cool. So anyway, so he said, why don't we do this? Why don't we change the game? Why don't we help a lot of people? Because a lot of people want to invest, whether it's them getting money to invest in, an apartment building or a duplex or maybe a business. They just don't know what the steps are. And so Tava, which started off with Kenny, started Tava 3 years ago with 6 main nutritional products. And so now this is the financial educational side, which is called Tavaverse. And so the financial educational side will basically be a financial educational platform with some of the best educators that I've been blessed to work with. And all these people are doing amazingly great things. Some of the relationships I've had a long time. Some of the relationships are newer relationships. Nonetheless, I'm already seeing major value added, right? And that's what it's all about. It's all about community. It's all about getting with a group of individuals. And I was showing that video with Robert and Kim Kiyosaki, who've become very good friends of mine, and particularly Kim is a wealth mentor to me. We actually have an event that's starting this week, Monday. Oh, I got to post that. I got to post it again. But she owns 6,000 units independent of what she built with Robert, and just a savvy investor, and someone that I definitely consider a mentor. And we always talk about community, and we talk about the reason why most people don't become successful is because they're trying to, maybe they're a genius in their area, right? But what can happen if you get with a group of geniuses that are all in their fields? And so we literally, in this Tavaverse financial educational platform, we have geniuses in how to get your credit together. We have geniuses in how to, set up an LLC, set up international business, how to set up a family trust, a business trust, a private family foundation. We have geniuses in getting you funded. We have the owner of a bank who is very friendly, and particularly towards people of color. We have geniuses in, setting up systems to manage it all, right? Because otherwise you'll be like me when I bought all those properties in Detroit in 2016. It was a lot going on. And I had to scale my business and allow Camille, who you guys will have access to come in and create some organization and work with an accounting firm that could allow me to scale my business. And then you have to have geniuses in marketing, which Marquita is completely genius with that. You guys will have education to her on how to market whatever business you're in, whether it's Tavaverse or whether you have an accounting firm or whether you're a doctor or whether you're an attorney. It doesn't matter. Everything has the ability to be scaled. And I think if we recognize that, even if we've had success, and still say, hey, I still need to scale, then you're going to find that Tavaverse is a tremendous group of people that are hungry and just want to make impact and change people's lives. And so all day long, I'm talking to different ones all day, learning something, creating deals, and learning about new platforms. And so that's what Tavaverse is overall. So, whoever invited you on here, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of tell you ahead of time, get that app from them, and join, because 2023, you can either keep doing things the way you've always done them, or you can say, you know what, I'm about to allow myself to be taught. I'm going to become a student and I'm going to learn. And that's what I feel like when people say, do you consider yourself to be an expert in crypto or expert in business? I said, I consider myself to be a master's student because I'm learning so much every day, things that I did not know that I needed to know. And I think that that needs to be all of our position, that we stay master students and not allow whatever level of success we've had, whether your success level has been, 100,000 a year, or a millionaire, or 5 million a year, or a decimillionaire, or a centimillionaire, it doesn't really matter. Just understanding that, hey, there's still a lot more that I need to know. And I want to grow. And some of you might already have investment properties. Some of you might have 1 or 2, but what if we could help you get to 10, right? What if we could help you get to 15? What if we could help you to reduce your tax liability as you do that? And so those are all the kind of different things that Tavaverse is a conglomerate of, like, the best of the best that are willing to help you. And so I'm excited. I want to go ahead and jump into some conversation tonight. And remember, this is an overview. Okay, so a couple of people called today. They're like, I heard this, but y'all didn't finish giving me everything. I was like, you're not getting everything. This is just an overview to give you a taste, right? Everybody put in the chat, this is just an overview. This is why we recommend that you sign up to become an official part of the Tavaverse community, so that you can get the overall education, which will happen every single week. You'll have access to all of the educators once a week, where you'll be able to get on, you'll be able to go back and listen to replays. So again, this is not intended to give you the conclusion of the whole matter, right? This is intended to give you a piece or a part of why I deem this community very precious and very close to my heart, because it's already changing my life and already changing a lot of people's lives. So again, this is just an overview of why I believe that Tavaverse is really for anybody that knows that there's more and they want more and they're teachable. And that's really all you have to be. And if that's you, then Tavaverse is going to be like family. All right. So what I want to do is go ahead and bring Phil on here, who is just a complete genius in the area of real estate and structuring deals and finding deals. And I've just been thoroughly impressed with this brother and what he's doing and his heart to really just get in there and give the education. Phil, are you on? I thought I saw you on here, bro.
I'm on.
Let's see if I can. Oh, there you at. Okay. All right, cool. I just added the pin. All right, cool. All right, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent.
We've done a few deals and been investigators and asking questions today and talking to people, and really we're working, I would say, almost like night and day, making sure that Tavaverse offers the best of the best to everyone. And I think you guys are all going to be very much impressed, very pleased, and no reason why everybody can't win big. So let's get into it. So first of all, you found a pretty amazing deal for me. And again, these are just examples to show you guys what you have. Okay, so because we have some beta testers, right? You want to beta test everything. And of course, so we have some people that are beta testing, and I'm a beta tester right now. I'm being tested, okay, with the system, right? And so you found an amazing deal for me downtown Detroit, an apartment building. Candace, who also is an amazing mortgage educator on this platform as well, and told me about you and said, hey, you got to meet Phil because he's going to help you structure this deal. So we went to the apartment building, we walked to the apartment building, and you started giving me tea on there's, these are the bedrooms, you can make, half, short-term rental. And I think the rent for those apartments were like $14.50, but you were saying if I did a short-term rental, not Airbnb because of all the licensing fees, but if I just did a short-term rental on that one property that normally would make me $1,400 would make me how much, did you tell me?
I mean, usually it's like 3.5, 4x, right? So if you're getting 1,400 per unit, you'd be getting closer to 5,000 per unit, right? It's pros and cons to it, but it's just understanding what's available so you can make the decisions that's gonna take you where you want to go.
Yeah, and then you also told me, listen, these bedrooms don't have, washer and dryers in them. So let's go down to the basement, take a look at that, which was a complete mess. And said, hey, we can also do washers and dryers in here too, which will also be another source of income for your tenants. So now that's extra money coming in for you, do some short-term rentals possibly, and then some, traditional, income units. Now, the other thing is we got Benicia, who you guys will all have access to, who owns Prime One Loan Banks. We applied at like, I think I want to say my business applied at like 4 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, I had the approval. You looked at the approval, we talked to the bank, you have some really critical questions. So talk about that strategy. And these are some things, again, that you guys will learn that I thought was just completely genius.
Yeah, so basically, this comes down to understanding the fundamentals. In this case, we're talking about a commercial property. So just going back to what we talked about, whether it's Airbnb, whether it's a laundry room, et cetera, it improves the cash flow. In commercial real estate specifically, part of that, the value of the asset or the value of the asset is based off the income it produces, right? So the more you can increase the value of the revenue, that you can significantly increase the value of the asset, which allows you to have a huge amount of equity potentially, right? I don't want to go into all the detail, but you could add $2,000 per month to your revenue, and that could potentially add $400,000 to a value of an asset. Okay, so we were talking about things like that. Now, specifically with the review, so Joe got approved, and we were actually on the call, and I actually heard one thing that I hadn't heard before. The bank, Benicia's bank, was saying they do 1 to 8 units, and they consider it residential. So when they said that, that immediately put a light bulb off. I was like, oh man, if Jewel's buying this property, this one's 8 with a potential 9. That could have saved her. If they would have said something like residential rates, like 5-10%, she would be saving 150K just off the bat. It would have made the deal like a slam dunk, no problem. Now that wasn't the case for this particular property, but that's still interesting for anybody here on this call, because that means part of the way you can actually house hack with an apartment building. Right? Some of you may have heard about that. Buy a duplex, live in one side, rent the other. Buy a triplex, buy a quad, rent the other ones and either break even or make cash flow, live for free, or even make money while you're buying your first property. Well, the bank is doing 1 to 8 units, which again, that's my first time hearing that. That means you could go out and find a property that has 8 other units. Technically, you could house hack, live in one, and get income from 7 other units and be making cash flow. And that's like your property. Okay, some of the other things we talked about, we were looking at the interest rates, or excuse me, not just the interest rate, looking at the term. So she has a principal and interest. This approval was for principal and interest, right? So again, this is not going to impact the value of the asset, but what it does impact is cash flow. And for all of y'all that know, cash flow is king. It's not just cash is king, but you got that money that's continually coming to you. So in this particular case, I'll give some numbers. Let's say it's 8 units. And the rent is $1,450, right? If you do that, $1,450 times 8 is $11,600, right? After you pay for, let's say, a property manager, and then you, in this case, the mortgage, if you pay principal and interest and the taxes, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, it was like $5,700. So that means this property would produce $11,600 gross, and it would produce somewhere around, if you minus the 10% for management and the $5,700 for like everything else, principal, interest, taxes, Jewel would net about $4,300 a month. That's net. Assuming in this property, we're saying that's net because it's limited maintenance. That's something we'll evaluate more, but I'm keeping that out intentionally. I even told you, I'm like, hey, let's just take another 1,000 out just, for little stuff that comes up, and that'll be your reserves or extra money that you get back at the beginning of the year or whatever, right? So that means worst case, she'd be looking at getting $3,300 a month, like after everything, Don't have to make no phone calls, not having to deal with credit. This is the worst case scenario, by the way, guys, because we're looking at the traditional way. This is not talking about doing short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, that we're not doing anything with the laundromat or anything like that, right? So now she's making that. So that's $3,300 a month. Let me just focus on the bank and the interest rate approval. Because that loan approval was for principal and interest, right? We had Grant Cardone up here at the beginning. So if we talk about principal and interest, who says you have to pay principal and interest? I mean, people typically do that on your residential property, but you don't have to do that. That's actually a strategy that Grant Cardone uses. He gets interest-only loans, so he pays down no principal. He counts on the appreciation, but his cash flow is crazy. So in this same property that we're real life working on right now today, as opposed to her mortgage on it being $5,700, if you take out the principal, I don't know the exact number, but it's probably going to be something like $1,500. All right, let's call it $2,000. So all of a sudden, this property that was going to cost her a total of $5,700 plus the management fee of about $7,000 a month, all of a sudden it's going to cost her a total of about $3,000, $3,500. The revenue is still the same. So as opposed to her Jules' income being $3,300, now it's closer to $8,300 per month. And this is net to her. Now, this is where you allow some of your own. So Jules been doing this for years, right? So she knows where to place money. So, okay, we take some of that money, we put it in reserves or we count it for maintenance or whatever. But that's more capital that goes to her that she can say, well, I got this extra money coming in. I know in the crypto space, I can do this right now and I'll make 2 or 3, 4X, whatever it is. Or I know I can put it into this business or this other venture, right? And have more money to go out and make more money with, whether it's passive, actively. So now she's doing that from that same property, right? We're not even talking about the fact that we're going to look at increasing the actual value of the asset by, for example, let's say it costs $30,000, $35,000 to finish that whole basement out and turn it into a laundry room. Maybe that makes her another $1,500 per month. Well, if you do the math, $35,000 spend, $1,500 a month, that's a pretty good return. It's like something like 30%.
Yeah.
Right. But the big kicker here, when you talk about commercial, like I said, the value is based off the income. So every dollar, I'll simplify it this way. For every dollar, and this is not, it depends on the cap rate, which depends on the location. So this is not across the board, but the concept is what I'm getting across here. This is, yeah, right, this is all just one property. So for every dollar per se that she adds to her revenue, this could be adding potentially $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 to her to the value of the asset. It's called forced appreciation, which you can go to a bank, which we got to connect on the bank already, and she can pull out more money completely tax-free. Refinance, that's more money she can go make this, make that move. So it really, really starts to snowball when you look at it this way. The other thing we talked about was the term. I think hers was 30-year. We talked to the bank, they said they'll do 40-year terms. So 40-year, what that means is your payment is even lower. So that means the bank is willing to say, I'll give you more money for a longer period of time, and you only have to pay me a smaller amount.
Listen.
The rest. So if you're a good steward of your money, you're gonna go and run it up with that. So it really starts to add on, right? And it's just knowing these different things and having the connections that's available to you to be able to do that. So that, again, somebody posted it there. That's just one property.
Yeah,
that's one property.
That's strong, Phil. That's really strong. And let me say this, because, when you really start talking about real wealth, you can take a principle and say, oh, I'm gonna go run that. But I promise you, it's relationships, because we got the relationships with the bank in such that, and Tiffany actually said this earlier when we were talking to her, like when people know you, if they know you're in a community with people that are credible and integrous and that you're really learning, you become more bankable. Where if you just went to them, outside on your own, they might be like, I don't know you from Joe. But if they can call and say, oh yeah, you know what? Angela, I've been working with Angela 6 months. Like, she's solid. I've been working with her for the last, whatever. She like that. You need the community. You can take a nugget here and a nugget there, a resource here, a resource there. But I promise you, if you're for real about this, because it wasn't just me going to the bank, Benicia's bank did their thing. They were amazing to work with. But then once I got all the terms, I still needed to go back to, a field and say, or candidates and say, okay, let's look at all these terms and see what things do we need to maybe negotiate or ask about this and ask about that. And that's exactly what we did today. So again, if you're serious about building, and so Phil, thank you so much, because that was like mad tea today. I was like, oh my gosh. I wasn't
Yeah.
even thinking about that, because in the back of my mind, even though I'm an investor, that's an area that I'm still growing in, because I'm still thinking debt free. And you're like, no, sis, think a little bit different now. Like, why would
Yep.
you really want to pay that off like that? You want cash flow. So why wouldn't you ask for interest only? You see what I'm saying? So there
100%.
are all areas in our life that we have to do that. So that was really good. I want to get ready to ask Tiffany to join the party. Tiffany, are you on here, sis?
I am here, sis. I am here.
Hey, how you doing? I'm excited you're on. Man, we had a great conversation. Then the
Yes.
phone shut down. We had to jump on Zoom. Talk a little bit about, you're going to be adding major value to the Tavaverse community as well. And so talk a little bit about what you do, because I think it's pretty impressive with what you do with credit and some of the things that you can offer. And those, again, that are in the Tavaverse community are going to have access. Not only are you going to have access, you're going to have perks, like it's additional perks, right? And that's what you really want. You want the perks, you want the relationships, you want to be able to say, oh, I've been working with this person, because when you start talking about being bankable, people want to know, do you have financial integrity? Can they trust you? These things are really important. I want to make sure that we are abundant minded and not like, like shortage mentality, like I'm gonna just take what I can get. No, you want to be with the whole squad so you can really maximize your relationships. And again, not just get approved, but then making sure the structure of the deal is important. And I know we'll be able to use a lot of what you do and Brianna to help with the seconds, right? Because a lot of the banks can offer 70 to 80% down, but you'll be able to come in and in some cases really help with that second and give them that 20 to 30% for those that don't want to use their cash. So talk a little bit about what you're going to be doing and offering.
Awesome. So, guys, one of my things is a life without an agenda has no structure. And what I mean by that is we have to have the fundamental principles to understand the value of money before you execute with money. So, one of the things that I am strong in is making sure not only that we assess to see what the value is and what you can obtain and manage, but giving you the opportunity to leverage your personal credit or your business as an asset to gain foundation and have principal money to do what it is that you desire to do. We're not just here to get money, we're here to create wealth. And one of the things Dr. Jewel, I know, touches on all the time is generational wealth. And you cannot have generational wealth if you don't have a foundation of wealth for yourself. So one of the intricate things that I'll be bringing in is first off, assessing your personal credit file. We have to see where you are, what we can do, how we can do it, and what you can actually afford to obtain and maintain. I also provide a budget, a debt reduction plan, and a financial needs analysis, because in order to have a solid portfolio, you have to have diversification. And you cannot have diversification without disposable income, right? So once we assess the personal, we assess the business, we find out what needs to be done on the personal credit. What I do is dispute the inaccurate accusations, erroneous items, and omissions on the reports. I study the consumer laws, the Debt Practice Act, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I know it inside and out. So I know what can be done. What we don't do here or with Tava is going to be over-promising and under-delivering. We don't promise results because we legally cannot. But what I will say is I have an 85 to 95% success rate with my clients, and we will work with you until you're satisfied. We will not give you any false expectations at all. You will know from the beginning of our assessment review what we can do and how we can do it. And there's nothing we haven't gotten off. Does that mean every file will have the same favor? Absolutely not, because it's about timing. It's about the account status. It's about the type of leverage that's on the account, what is 100% accurate, what is not accurate, what has some inaccuracies on them that are 100% like removal prone, because certain things, if they mess up, it just gotta go, right? So once we repair and restore the credit, that gives you an opportunity to leverage the credit. So that's where the funding piece comes in with me on the personal side or the business side. We'll see what we can do to get you the proper funding. And to me, anything under 100,000 is not worth us doing. So that lets you know the capability and the credibility with the banking systems that I have relationships with. We are going to get you 100,000 plus. So whatever it is that you need, we're going to create that blueprint. We're going to make it obtainable, but you have to follow the rules of engagement for your particular file, right? So I have maybe over 75 relationships with banks and credit unions, right? I have over 25 individuals who actually push the button for the funding. Do they just push the button for my clients? Absolutely. I know exactly what they need, what each client will need to be funded from any of my vendors that I have a relationship with. So if you do not qualify, you will not qualify. We do not finesse. We do not operate outside of integral behavior. We do not create falsified documents. We make sure that we are solid and we are able to deliver in a way that will keep you safe for the long term, okay? So we have opportunities on the personal side for funding to have no document loans. No document loans means that we will not have to have tax returns. We will not have to have financials. You will come in with the credit score needed on the personal and business side, or just the personal, and obtain a minimum of 150,000 from one bank, which are still several banks, but from one bank. And then we have some banks that you can come in and grab 75,000, no docs, and a MasterCard or Visa for $50,000 or a line of credit. So that is upon qualifications, but that is there for you on the personal side. Now, the business side, that is my all-time favorite, because one thing that I teach is you should have two people, and the two people is your personal and your business baby. If you can have 350 to 500,000 on the personal and do the exact same thing with the business, why not? Because preferred, you should use the business, because none of that information goes onto the personal to leverage and diminish what your personal looks like. You have an opportunity to still leverage the personal if you have to personally guarantee the business or not. So I love that. That's what I consider the double dip. That's what I consider my second, some of us have husbands, some of us don't. So my business was my husband, right? So it gives me an opportunity to leverage that and gain another momentum. On the business side, there's absolutely no limits, but you have to have a strong profile. What is a strong profile, Tiffany? Well, a strong profile is mixed funding on the business side, excellent credit, which is a 740 and above on the personal credit. And mixed funding means that you have lines of credit, you have loans, you have credit cards, you have paid off debt, you have revolving that is not paid off. That is a strong file. So in order for us to create that strong file, if you do not have it, you have to have trade lines. With us, we offer trade lines for the business and also trade lines for the personal. The trade lines on the business starts at $50,000 and can go up to $300,000. So we have 50,000 on the low, 150 on the medium, and 300 on the high. And it's very affordable. The trade lines that are needed, and the reason you want to have trade lines is because a lot of people focus on Dun and Bradstreet. You hear a lot of the social media business gurus talk about Dun and Bradstreet. Well, Dun and Bradstreet is really for vendors or machinery. But when it comes to funding capability and actually having capital gains that you can utilize for any type of asset, you have to have an SBFE file, which is backed by Equifax. You have to have a business Equifax profile strong and a business Experian profile strong. So those are necessary to eliminate having to personally guarantee your business assets. Once you have a strong profile, you can go in any establishment without a PG, and a PG again is a personal guarantor. You can go
So
anywhere.
asked her, what was that? I was like, what's a PG for? I'm like, you
Yeah.
talking about the movies?
So you can go anywhere without having to personally guarantee that. And that is what you need to do. A lot of us do not understand the value in incorporating and structuring your business correctly without having red flag industry names. We all know real estate is a red flag industry name. Credit restoration is a red flag industry name. Airbnb rentals is a is a red flagged industry name, right? So you have to learn the core principles of building your foundation. But even if you made those mistakes, we have some secret weapon stuff that you won't hear about today, but you will hear about it once you join Tava and you're in our network. So I'm not going to give you all the G14 classified, but I'm definitely going to let you know that we have the game over here. We have several opportunities. And lastly, what I want to share with you is owning nothing and controlling everything is not cliche. And the only way that you can own nothing and control everything is to have a trust. The only way you can be your own bank is to actually have income that you produce, that you control, that nobody can click a button on a machine and stop your money from coming to you. So we're going to teach that in every aspect. We are going to have opportunities to get maximum funding for any project that you desire. And if you do not have the history on your business, 2 to 3 years, we have an amazing source where you can get the business. Jewel, help me out real quick. The shelf corporation.
Okay.
We have a major resource for the shelf corporations, right? And I don't even want to give you too much on that, but 2 to 3 year history. They do not display the old owners of that business or the previous owners of that business. We can actually start a business in any city or state, and it's called a what is the name of that business, y'all? It's kind of late, but I want to make sure that I give you the accuracy on it. It's going to be an H corp, but it's a foreign entity, right? So we have the opportunity of buying age corporations if you do not have the age on your company, and we have an opportunity of getting the shelf corps, adding the right authorized users or primary authorized users on there. We have all of that for the business structure, and once that is on there, you can go and get funding after 95 days.
Okay,
so even
that's
don't
that right there. All of this already, just y'all done already heard enough. You should be asking for the app, right? Because what happens a lot of times, businesses start and they don't have the maturity on there. And so now you said I can get age, and she didn't say shell corp, she said shelf, SHELF. We're gonna give you the T on that. I want to bring Brianna on really quickly. Brianna, we actually have someone who did a beta test yesterday. That was a part of our beta testing that we've been doing. And she actually, Brianna, are you on, babe?
Hey, yes.
Tiffany,
I'm so fired up.
Wasn't that fire? That was fire.
So,
that was complete fire.
Listen, when I say
Tiffany, you brought all that heat, baby. You brought all that heat and the smoke.
Listen,
okay?
It's going to be 14 classified. You better get in or you're going to get left behind.
That's it. Listen, I was on the back end like, listen, if everybody don't hear just the value on top of value every single night, it's just been value on top of value. It's like every problem, every question mark you have, in your finances, in the funding, in the lending, in the wealth building, every issue you have will be met here at Tavaverse.
It'll be met. Just the other day, you were taking one of the students on a beta test and you got her approved for American Express that she's going to turn around and take and buy from a property that feel, brought to the table. So guys, literally everything that you need to really build a strong wealth portfolio is right here, like honest to God. Naja, are you out there? Naja, you on? Okay. I don't see Naja. Okay, listen, this was amazing. I don't know if Joe is on here, but I know that she is so grateful. She texted me today. Rihanna's amazing. And that's what you're gonna have an opportunity to hear from all of the educators. You guys are gonna be like, Phil's amazing, Tiffany's amazing, Marquita's amazing, Camille's amazing, because literally God has divinely put some of the best together. And so now all we have to do is, all you guys got to do is plug and play. So let me tell you about costs real quick. Two packages where you can come in at, okay? You come in at $1,200. That will allow you to maximize the compensation plan. I recommend everybody come in at the $1,200 package. It's going to give you 6 nutritional products. Remember that those 6 nutritional products, because Tava started off as nutritional, now we're launching the financial educational part. So you have 6 nutritional products. A detox tea, which is amazing. It's smooth. CBD coffee, organic coffee, multivitamin, mood booster, collagen. Y'all know that's important, okay? And so you'll get all those products one time. Then if you want to continue those products, you can get it. If you just want the financial education every month, it'd just be $150 a month. Like, to get all this is unheard of, because if you went and paid Phil, you'd be paying him $25,000 for 4 months. If you went and just got Brianna, you'd be paying her a couple thousand. If you just went and got Tiffany. So we really were able to bring together the best of the best of the best to really serve you guys, because all of us really love people and really want to make impact, because you don't do this just because. This is not just money. Do we want to make money? Absolutely. But we are also very serious about making impact, okay? And then the other thing that I wanted to say was that if you want to just say, I just want to get started, I don't want to do all that. Well, I don't have the $1,200, but I want to start, but I don't have it to start with tonight. What can I do? You can start with $300. If you start with $300 tonight, they're going to give you 30 days to make up the difference and pay the $900. Okay. So again, if you don't have the entire $1,200, but you're like, oh man, I really want it, then you can start with the $300 pack. And then within 30 days, pay the difference of the $1,200, which will be $900. Okay. Or if you're like, hey, I really don't care about, building a team, I don't want to tell anybody else, so you can just come in with $200. And again, every month after that, it will be $150. The $200 will get you 2 products. I do want to open it up for just about 2 or 3 questions. If anybody has any questions tonight, before we get ready to wrap, again, I want to encourage you and welcome you in advance. Welcome to Tavaverse. I believe one of the best of the best hard asset educational platforms right now in the world, like for real. Like, I've not seen what we're doing, the way we're doing it. It is definitely something really special. So I get back with that person, ask them for the app. Also, anybody have any questions?
Hi, Jewel.
I had a question.
This is Katori.
Hi.
I just had a really quick question for clarity on the cost. So the 200 and the 200 includes only the financial.
So the 200 includes, so the 200 will give you 2 nutritional products, and it'll give you access to the financial education. And every month after that, it'll be $150 every month. And if you decide that you want to add on nutritional products, you can.
Okay, and so in the 300 gets me in and gives me 30 days to put the additional $900 to get to the 1,200, and there's no monthly with that?
That's right. Well, no, it'll be 900 to get to your 1,200 within 30 days. Every month after that, it'll be 150.
Okay, so but what's the big difference then, besides the price? What do I get besides the nutritional products with the 1,200 as opposed to
It allows you to maximize the comp plan if you decide to build a team.
Got it. Okay, so either way you go, it's $150 a month.
Yep, that's it.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jewel.
Hey,
Hi, Jewel. Got a question.
yes.
So if you get the $200 pack, can you build a team?
You still can build a team. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can still build a team. It just basically the 1,200 just allows you to maximize the comp plan. 1,200 allows you to make 20% for the first 60 days off of your entire volume. And then the $200 plan, you'll make half of that, 10%. So you can still build a team and you can still make money.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
I have a question. Hi, this is Charlene. So I'm sitting in my car because this is so good. So thank you so much, Brianna and everyone. Hello. Good evening. My question is, which you briefly answered about the compensation plan. Is it the same for the educational track that it is for the health and wellness track?
So for the financial educational, every month is $150. If you want to get nutritional products, I know like for one nutritional product, it'll be $169. You're going to have, everyone will have access to their back office next week. You'll get a link where you can get on and say, hey, I want to add the collagen. Hey, I want the tea. Hey, I want the coffee. So you'll actually have access to a back office next week that will allow you to edit, add, and delete any nutritional products. Or if you just want to do the financial educational for $150, you can. Or if you want to add on nutritional products next week, you'll be able to do that as well.
Excellent. Now, if you want to build a team, that's when we can look at the compensation plan and kind of understand how we get paid double. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we will be doing a compensation training. But yeah, we'll be doing that. So you can look at that, and then you'll also have access on your back office. You'll be able to see the comp plan back there as well. But we will be doing compensation training on a regular basis.
All right, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, any other questions? Somebody said this is phenomenal. Ali said this is phenomenal. So happy I signed up. Please do not procrastinate, sign up. Yeah, I know, right? For real. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions from anyone?
Are all the products from TLC, or are there other
So
nutrition
yeah, this
companies?
is Tava. So Tava Fit, and then Tavaverse is the financial side. Tava Fit that has different products from TLC. They have similarities in that there's a multivitamin that's the same, but these are not TLC products. These are Tava products. And I can tell you they work with some of the best specialists and medical doctors to formulate the products. And so there's six nutritional products. And again, next week, you'll be able to have access to them. You have a link where you can get on your back office and see them and order them as often as you want.
Thank you so much. This has been so great. I love it.
Good. Thank you for joining. All right.
Hi, Dr. Jewel. I have a
Hey.
question.
Yeah.
I'm actually decided to join, and I was looking at the application and I had a question. Yay, I love it. So I'm at the section where it says, and you may have already said this, but it says replicated site, username, password. So don't worry about any of that until next
No,
week.
you don't have to
is
worry
what
about
you're
any of that.
saying?
No, you have to worry about
Okay.
any of that. Just make sure your credit card information is clear, and then write
Okay.
down the package you want next to it where it says item.
Got it. And the package I want would be the price, the cost of the plan that we're getting into.
Yep,
basically.
exactly.
Okay. And where it says description, what would we put there?
You don't have to put anything there.
All right. So just basically the price, and we're good to go in my credit information, basically.
Yep, that's it. Make sure you get it right back to your person who gave you the app, okay?
Perfect. Aaron is my person. So yay.
Yay, welcome aboard. Excited to have you. Okay.
Thank you so
Jewel,
much.
Jewel, that commission is 20% of whatever that person that I invite joins at. The 200 or the
20% of your total pay leg volume, because there's 2 legs. So your commission, and there's 7 ways to get paid, but the one way that particularly we're talking about will be 20% of your total volume on your pay leg, is what you'll get if you do the 1,200. And if you do the 200, then it'll be 10% of your total volume on your pay leg.
Okay.
All right.
And where can we find the compensation plan?
So it's going to be on your back office. So as soon as you sign up, you're going to get a link, and it'll be on your back office, and be listening and looking out once you're in the community, and you'll see we'll be sending out text messages every time to share with you and go over the compensation plan. I see Keita on here, another amazing educator that we have. Keita, can you be shown tonight? Completely brilliant. Keita, are you available? Oh, okay. Keita, like, I cannot be shown tonight. Okay, Keita. All right, we'll get, she'll be on next week. She'll be on next week, or maybe even tomorrow or Sunday. Okay, any other questions?
Hi, Miss Joel. This is Katie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Katie?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. Quick question. I have a friend who is already in Tava. What is the treatment for those individuals? How should we
They'll-
better
they'll have-
direct them?
Yeah, you can get with her. They're gonna be putting it on the website, so you'll be able to get on the website and add on Tavaverse. She can send you her link and you'll be able to join with her.
Okay, okay. Because I'm actually, I don't even think she was aware of it at this point. So I actually introduced her to the business side, this side of it. So we just needed to know what did she need to do? So now I know. She needs to access the information from her website.
Yeah.
As long as she's active.
Yeah, and as long, that's the key, is she active?
Mhm. Okay, okay, awesome. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any
So-
other questions?
Yes, Dr. Jewel. So now that I guess, have we closed the door as far as the founders are concerned, or
Doors
and then
closed.
how are the meetings going forward?
They're-
As far as inviting, are we still doing it daily, or is it going to be
Yeah.
a special day?
Yeah. We'll still be doing presentations all the way up and through. The educators will officially start the first week in May with their weekly trainings. But yeah, we'll still be doing pushing these overview calls every single week. Don't forget, we'll be in Houston, Texas. I think it's April 29th for the official launch of Tavaverse in Houston, Texas, April 29th. So please plan on coming and joining. That's going to be amazing. But yeah, these calls will continue to go on through the month of April. They just won't be founding members, okay?
So that ended yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the price and everything is the same, okay? Founding members will have perks. You guys should have gotten a text message with the email, basically asking you to send in your information because your name and your picture will be on the website as founding members. All right, I think we have done it. Thank you all so much for joining on this Friday night. This was amazing, amazing turnout. We'll be back on here on Sunday evening. So you guys will have off tomorrow. Push your guests to come on Sunday night. And thanks again for joining us. Make sure you get back with the person that invited you. Thank you, educators. You guys are amazing. So you guys have a great Friday night. And I get a chance to go on a date with my honey. Bye.